We will now call on Senator Casini to share to us what are the efforts being done in European parliamentarian to realize this aspiration to have a new government in Myanmar as soon as possible. Senator Casini, please.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm sorry because we are late, and after my intervention I have to leave the meeting because we have another appointment in the Senate. In any case, it's very important for me to participate in this meeting, and thank you very much. The military coup attempt to wipe out of the aspiration of the Burmese people, as expressed in the extraordinary electoral result of November 8, 2020, which confirmed the will of the Burmese people to definitely get rid of the weight and rule of the military in the political and economic life of the country. The constitution of the committee representing the parliament, the CRPH, the Civil Disobedience Movement, and the National Unity Government, NUG, are fundamental elements of the political opposition, also recognized by the recent G7 of foreign ministers. According to the UN Assembly, there is currently a complex situation due also to the extremely serious emergency experienced by Afghanistan. However, this must not prevent, but rather strengthen the commitment of the international community to avoid that another country, notably Myanmar, be permanently transformed into another violent dictatorship under control of countries with geopolitical and economic interests in the area. That is why we believe that it is important to continue to put pressure on ASEAN in order to urgently establish, as clearly stated by Joseph Borrell, the EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, a meaningful and fundamental political dialogue with all interested parties, including the CRPH, the NUG, ethnic groups, and others in favor of democracy. Only a clear and unambiguous position of ASEAN, which must stop involving only military forces, can bring some results. Otherwise, ASEAN risks to become an irrelevant institution. In view of the opening of the UN Assembly, we know how difficult it is to achieve recognition of the NUG at the UN level. However, still today the ambassador appointed by Aung San Suu Kyi to the UN continues to speak on behalf of the NUG. The NUG, which in only 4 months from its birth has shown to be able to continue the democratic reforms required by the international community and by the EU for an inclusive peace and stability in the country, meets the UN criteria for recognition as a legitimate representative of Myanmar. Unlike the military regime, which is carrying out a very bloody repression, violating the rule of law, the NUG controls part of the territory and of the ethnic states. It respects the UN character and has the support of the whole people of Myanmar. Moreover, the NUG has pledged to put an end to ethnic conflicts, especially in Rakhine, to establish the rule of law, to bring democracy and peace in the country. To that end, it cancelled the constitution imposed by the military in 2008 and is drafting a democratic and federal constitution agreed with all ethnic organizations of civil society. It recognized the Rohingya population as an ethnic group. It decided to ratify the Treaty of Rome on the International Criminal Court and to answer the International Court of Justice for the prosecution of war crimes committed since 2002 in Rakhine and throughout the rest of the country by the military junta. What can we do in Italy? In the coming weeks, we can work for the Italian Parliament to take a position so that the Italian government and the EU recognize the new NUG, support its credentials at the UN, and the democratic opposition also through an increase of sanctions on one side and financial and humanitarian aid, especially in ethnic states, on the other side, and seek to widen the number of states, especially in the region, which are showing support for democracy in Myanmar, as South Korea just did a few days ago. Italy has the leadership now of the G20, and as already expressed by the G7, it can ensure that the October meeting of the heads of state and government speaks clearly on these issues. In conclusion, at the international level, Italy, together with the IPU, must strengthen support for the CRPH, calling for a stronger commitment for the ASEAN Parliament to mobilize in support of an immediate return to democracy and pushing for the negotiations coordinated by ASEAN to become inclusive and effective. Thank you, my colleagues.